Have you ever considered the scope of a century? Beyond the stretch of time measured in hours, days, and decades, the impression of 100 years is truly found in the stories of the people who span and connect the beginning to the end, their triumphs, failures, celebrations, and setbacks. The story of months and minutes is best told through resolution and relationship, and that's where the history of Catholic education in Minot begins. Father J.J. Wraith came to Minot in 1901, and he brought the seeds for building a Catholic tradition on the prairie. He arrived when the moniker of the Magic City was just becoming reality. Homesteaders were swarming to northwest North Dakota, and the town was becoming a railroad and trade juggernaut. It was here that Father Wraith would employ the influence of his early years in Germany to construct a beautiful church in what is now downtown Minot. And after the completion of St. Leo the Great in 1908, his inspiration found a new focus: a Catholic school. The only obstacle was waiting on the right person to oversee this new initiative. That man would enter the story in 1923. John Hogan was born ambitious. After graduating from Gonzaga University in 1910, it was the Great Northern Railroad that first brought him to western North Dakota and his calling to be a Catholic priest. Together, pastor and assistant pastor got to work. They oversaw the project of St. Leo's School, built in 1925 and opened to students in 1st through 6th grades in 1926. The school continued to grow, adding grades 7 through 12 and the first graduating class by 1933. Father Hogan served in many roles during those days: principal, chaplain, teacher, coach, drama director, counselor, and later superintendent. In 1951, then Monsignor Hogan spearheaded the movement that would bring 3 new churches and 2 new Catholic schools to Minot. Remembered for the recorded appeal from Bishop Vincent Ryan on his deathbed, the initial fund drive provided the beginning of Catholic education at Little Flower Elementary in the fall of 1953. Monsignor Hogan's ambition continued in partnership with Father Felix Andrews at St. Therese, and a subsequent fundraising effort saw the opening of a new Catholic high school just 5 years later. Built on land that was purchased through the foresight of Father Wraith many years earlier, Bishop Hilary Hacker blessed the cornerstone of the new school and introduced its name, Bishop Ryan High School. Under the guidance of St. Leo's alumnus Father Blaine Cook, the school opened to high school students in the fall of 1958. Father Cook would go on to join the roster of teachers, administrators, and support staff that would shepherd Catholic education in Minot over the century. Among other priests and lay people, the list also includes religious sisters who served in our schools, a tradition that began in 1926 when Father Wraith asked the Franciscans at St. Joseph's Hospital to help with teaching at St. Leo's. In all, 60 years of Catholic education in Minot were shaped through the Franciscans, Benedictines, Ursulines, and School Sisters of Notre Dame, who tutored students of all ages. Over the years, many names and hands would join the mission of advancing the opportunity for Catholic education for Minot's youth. Our history is full of names recognized both throughout the community and across generations of Lions, as well as the hands that have continued the work started by 2 priests with hearts ablaze for bringing God to the people of Minot. In the early 1970s, it was the foresight of another clergyman at the helm, Father Robert Williams, who ensured that the gifts coming to the schools would be maximized and secured. This introduction of what is now the Bishop Ryan Catholic School Foundation provided a place for gifts to be invested and stewarded, ensuring their impact for years to come. The calendar's turn of the century brought a renewed fervor for keeping Jesus at the heart of our school. The chaplaincy of Father Justin Waltz established a succession of invigorating and inspiring priests who encouraged reinvestment in our whole reason for being and led to the presidency and leadership of Father Jaden Nelson. A modern-day renaissance in Catholic education is underway as our school begins its second 100 years, showing high accreditation rankings, improved testing and achievement scores, and a growing enrollment. More remarkable, however, is witnessing how the light of Christ moves outward among families, inspiring children and parents alike. Throughout our history, there have been difficulties and trends that pointed to the end of our story. But in spite of these trials, God gently calls us to keep our eyes on Him. He reminds us that the work we do is shared with Him, and beside the people He calls to the effort. He continues to shower us with the gifts and blessings that come through the mission of raising inspired minds faithful hearts, and lives of virtue. The celebration of 100 years is not an ending. It is the unique vantage point to look back with gratitude and look forward with hope, hearts wide open for the movement God has in store for Catholic education in Minot in our next century.